everyone, it's me, Phyllis, coming to you with another video. If you are new and this is your first time stopping by, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you haven't already, please subscribe after this video so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. If you an oldie but a goodie, hey, welcome back, sis, and thank you so much for your continuous support. Mwah. I love you all. All right, you guys, so this is a different type of video. I think I had mentioned in a video before that I was going to come to you guys and talk about I had a health issue earlier. It started earlier this year, and I think we got down to the bottom of it in September, October. And so I was kind of like thinking, should I get on here and tell you guys about it? I feel it's informative, and I didn't know about this, and you probably don't know about it either. I have done some research on it, so I have some notes here, so that I can, kind of make sure I give you, good information, and also just kind of tell you what I went through with this issue. So starting back in April, I had an issue with swelling. It would be my lips. My lips would swell. And another thing, I don't know, I have pictures. Of course I took pictures. But I don't think I'm going to show pictures of me, but I may put some pictures that are out on the internet so you can see what it's all about, so you can see what the swelling looks like. I'm still thinking on if I want to put pictures of myself. I don't know. We will see. But back in April, I started having some swelling in my lips. Well, actually, it started with my tongue, to be honest. It started with my tongue. And my tongue would be swollen on one side. And the very first time that it happened, I had a hard time talking. I actually woke up like that. It woke me up in the middle of the night. And I felt my tongue was, feeling kind of funny. So I got up, I looked in the mirror, and it was swollen. So I couldn't really talk. I could talk, but it was like, and I woke my husband up, and I was like, look, and we decided to go to one of the standalone emergency rooms. So we went there, and they did not hesitate. They got me in there. They hooked me up to an IV. They started giving me antihistamines and a steroid to help to make the swelling go down. He asked all kind of questions. He wanted to know. Actually, y'all, this happened a year or so ago. The very first time that this happened to me was like probably a year and a half ago. And we went to, this is the story I'm telling. We went to the standalone, and he asked me a lot of different questions and everything. And my husband seemed to think, he thought that I had a stroke, and the guy was like, well, no, she didn't have a stroke or anything. So he named it. He said, you have something that's called angioedema. And I was like, what is that? And so I have it here. Angioedema is swelling that occurs deep within the skin or around the mucous membrane. And it is often due to allergens or a reaction to medication, though the cause may also be unknown. So that was the first time that it happened. They had me there for about 4 hours because they wanted to make sure that my airway was okay. They were really concerned with my airway because it was my tongue that was swollen. So he kept me there for about 4 hours to make sure that the swelling and everything went down. And again, they were giving me antihistamines, and they gave me steroids to help, with the swelling and all of that. So, that was the first time. So I didn't have any issues with it after then until April of this year. So April of this year, the same thing. My tongue started, it was it started swelling. But this time it was like just during the day. and my tongue started feeling a little funny, and it was after I had ate a salad or something. I think I had ate like a chicken salad or something, and my tongue started feeling funny. Well, I just went and took some Benadryl. It didn't get to where I really couldn't talk, and it didn't get really swollen to where it was affecting my breathing or anything like that. So I said, well, I'm just going to take some Benadryl and hopefully it'll go away. So it did. So then the next week, me and my husband were talking about it, and we were saying, well, maybe you need to start keeping a diary of what you're eating and, you know, things like that. So, because I really wasn't eating anything out of the norm. I hadn't tried anything new. Everything that I had been eating, it was stuff that I have eaten before many, many times. So that particular time when it happened, I was eating a chicken salad, and, you know, with it was a Cobb salad. So I was like, well, maybe it was the chicken or the season on the chicken. We just didn't know. So then the next week or two, it happened again. This time it was my lips. My lips were so big. I was like, oh my God, it was my lips, my jaw, just my face right around here was so swollen. And I just stayed in the house. I just stayed in the house. I didn't, it wasn't my tongue. It was just my lips. And I just was like, what is going on? So I was keeping track of what I was eating by this time. And still, it was nothing that I had ate the first time that it happened. Not the very first time, but I started keeping track of my food this time in April. And there was nothing different. I hadn't had the chicken salad, so that wasn't the Cobb salad, so that wasn't it. So I had this issue like 3 times between April and May. And it was just like I went, the last time that it happened in May, I went back to, because it was my tongue again. And this was a different standalone emergency room. And that doctor basically said the same thing. You have, angioedema. So they did the exact same thing. They gave me the antihistamines. They gave me this and blah, blah, blah. But they really weren't telling me what was causing it. What was making me flare up? What was going on? They never did really say until I had it again in May. And I went to the emergency room. I went to the hospital this time. And the doctor there, he looked at me and he was like, what kind of medication? He said, are you on blood pressure medicine? And I said, yes. And he said, what are you taking? And I told him, he said, oh, well, that's what it is. And I was like, no, that's not what it is, because I've been on this medication for years and I've never had any issue. And he was like, well, it can happen that way. He said, you can be on this medication for years and it doesn't affect you until now, or it can affect you at the beginning. It just depends on your body, your body chemistry and things like that. And I was like, my blood pressure medicine. I was like, okay. And so I went to my doctor, and my doctor was like, well, let me send you to a allergist doctor. So because we were thinking maybe it was food allergies, And so I went to the allergist, and he took a lot of blood work and all this kind of stuff, and it came back that I was like allergic to almonds and allergic to a few things, stuff that I eat all the time. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I just didn't think that was it. So I didn't have any more problems. Okay, I think I swelled up about 2 times in April and about 2 to 3 times in May. It was almost in May, it was every weekend I was swelling up. So May was just like, oh my God, what is happening? So after I went to the emergency room and he said that it was my blood pressure medicine and everything, I was like, I'm just going to wait and see. So September comes around and I wake up about 3 in the morning and my tongue is protruding out of my mouth. And I was like, oh my God. At this time, I couldn't talk. I didn't have any issues breathing, but I couldn't talk. So I woke my husband up, and I was showing him my my mouth, and he was like, okay, we gotta go. We gotta go. And I really couldn't talk to him, so I had to text him. The way I was communicating with him was texting. So he was asking me, well, where do you want to go? Do you want to go back to the hospital? You want to go to the standalone? You know, where you want to go? And I was like, I texted him. I was having to text him back and forth and everything. So we ended up going back to the standalone ER. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And that doctor, when he saw me, he was like, are you having any problems breathing or anything? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm, you know, I can't talk. I'm like, no. You know, I'm shaking my head. And they hurry up and put me on IV. They hurry up and put me on an IV. They started giving me antihistamines, and they started giving me steroids and all of that to break the swelling, to make the swelling go down. That doctor said, we're going to have an ambulance come take you to the emergency room. He said, because I don't want to take any chances. He said, this is a bad case. And he said, I'm sending you to the hospital. So the ambulance came and got me. They took me to the hospital. The hospital doctor, they kept me for 2 days. And we finally realized that it really was the blood pressure medicine. And I was on 3. Now, my dad had high blood pressure. My brother had high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure. And I was taking losartan. I was taking alamopene. Alamopene. I'll put it up here on the screen. And I was taking, it was a third one I was taking. Oh my goodness. I'll put it up here on the screen as well. Those are the 3 blood pressure medicines that I was taking. The losartan was the number 1 that was causing it, just like the doctor at the other ER told me. He said it was that losartan. So they immediately took me off the losartan. They kept me on they took me off of everything, and just they prescribed another one, hydro something. I can't pronounce these medications, but I will put that up here as well. So they put me on that, and they kept me in the hospital for 2 days just to monitor and make sure that, you know, the swelling didn't come back, because everyone's main issue with this swelling was my airway. They were concerned about me breathing. And so they kept me in the hospital for 2 days just to monitor me and make sure everything was okay. And so finally, my doctor, once I was released, my doctor, she changed my medicine, and she kept me on the hydroglycide, I think it is, hydroglycide or something. She kept me on that, and then she put me on another one. I'm going to put all the medicines up here so that you will know what I'm talking about, because I can't pronounce them all. But she put me on 2 different medicines, and then I had to monitor my blood pressure for 2 weeks. And my blood pressure, the top number was good, but the bottom number was too high. So then she had to give me a third one. And so now my blood pressure is doing really, really well. So I just wanted to make a video about this because, you know, if something like that may happen to you or someone you know, they need to get they need to get help ASAP, because, it might be food, it could be medication. You just don't know what could cause that swelling, and you just don't want to be in a situation where, my doctors, when I went the very first time 1.5 years ago, that doctor gave me 2 EpiPens. He was like, you need to keep these on you at all times and call the ambulance or whatever. He said, but you need to get help quick if it happens again. I mean, these doctors were really concerned about that, and this last time when my mouth, when my tongue was protruding out of my mouth and I couldn't talk, I was just like, I started crying. I'm like, I'm so tired of this. I don't know what's going on. But it seems to be that that's what it was. It was my blood pressure medicine. So if if you know someone who has swelling like that, that could be what it is, or it could be foods or whatever. They just need to get help and figure out what's causing it. Now, I haven't had any more issues at all since September. I haven't had any more issues with swelling. And I pray to God that I won't have any more issues. But the high blood pressure medicine is working. I'm still on 3, unfortunately. But yeah, it was just, I just felt in my heart that I just wanted to tell you about this because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything. I'm like, what is angioedema? I had no idea what that was. And it's just something that it just, you swell up. And it says symptoms can range from mild to life-threatening. Okay, so you may need emergency medical care, especially if you have trouble breathing. Thank God I never had trouble breathing, So yeah, it's just something that I wanted to share with you guys. Again, I don't know if I'm going to post any pictures. I probably won't. But I will post some pictures online of what it looks like, because it could be your tongue, it could be your lips, it could be around here. They even say it can be your eyes. It says some of the symptoms is it could be whelps in your eyes. It can be your lips and things like that. So, and for me, it was my tongue and it was my lips. I didn't have any issues with my eyes or anything like that. But it was a scary time in my life. And I just thank God that we figured out what it was. Because it could have been one night I didn't even wake up. My tongue could have been so swollen I couldn't breathe. I couldn't, anything could have happened, But I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's just information, that it may be helpful to someone. It may not help someone, but it may be helpful to someone. So I just wanted to tell you what my experience was with it. And, if you experience or someone who's experiencing that, they need to get medical help as soon as possible and get to a doctor and try to figure out what is causing it. So that is it, you guys. I just wanted to share that with you. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I thank you so much for stopping by. So if you have any questions about my experience, please put it down in the comment box. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. But it was a scary experience, and I'm just glad that we were able to figure it out what it was. And hopefully that's what it was, because the first time I had the experience was 1.5 years ago. So it may happen to me again. But I'm praying that it was the blood pressure medicine that I was on. So we just have to continue to pray and keep our fingers crossed and just hope that it won't happen again. So again, thank you so much for stopping by, you guys. I just want to say I really appreciate the support that you are giving me on this channel. And I just really love all of y'all. And I thank you so much for the comments that I do get. I really enjoy them. And I try to reach back out to you and answer your questions and everything. So just thank you so much for just coming and visiting with me every time I upload a video. All right, y'all, I'm just blabbing and all that stuff. So remember, you are blessed. Be well and be you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.